What's going on, guys? Scott here, and this is my Loadouts 2016. Now, this is the third time I have made a loadout video, and people tend to like these. I get questions about my backpack, I get people requesting this video, and I still get lots of comments and questions on the 2015, or it may even have been the 2014 loadout video. So I'll link the last two below in the description box, just in case you want to check them out and see what's the same, what's different. I don't really trade, so a lot of the stuff in my backpack is either from unboxing or from donations or from me just keeping it in there for a really long time, because at one point I wanted to collect every hat in the game, but then when the summer crates came out, I think 2014, 2015, whenever it was like the picnic themed, and they started releasing like 5 different crates with a bunch of different cosmetics in every crate, I had to give that up because it was just too much to do. And now I don't even know half of the cosmetics that have been added over the past years because I just kind of use what I like. So we're going to jump into it, and we're going to start off with Scout because you guys all know how I feel about Scout. And just going through it, this is the one I've been using. It is the Haunted Voodoo Skull, the Dead Little Buddy, and then I just unboxed this Troublemaker's Tassel Cap with the Starstorm Insomnia. Now, someone in the last video, they're like, bro, you don't even have a gold weapon. And I do have a gold weapon. It's a Australian Killstreak scattergun, but I don't really use it anymore because I got it to Hail Zone, and I have a couple other strangers that I wanted to get to Hail Zone. I have a Festive Blitzkrieg pistol with Coil on there, and this is not actually mine. This is my friend Dazdan. He let me borrow it because his computer broke, and he can't play TF2 anymore. So big shout out to Daz for letting me use that. And then this is the one that I also just unboxed. And it's kind of funny because the hat that I was using on this particular class already was the Bill's Sport Shine non-unusual version. And it just happened to get really, really lucky in that last unbox, which I don't know if you saw the video. It was 2 Scout hats in 12 crates out of 12 crates. So I'm using this. This is the Tesla Coil effect, and it's actually bugged right now. It'll show in the HUD, it'll show in the game, but in the actual game, I don't have an unusual effect on top of my head. I have a Blaze of Glory Shot from Hell scattergun, and or Shot to Hell, I'm sorry. This was a donation from my friend Queen, along with the Shot to Hell pistol, both factory new, and then the genuine 3-rune blade, also from Queen. The whole loadout was basically from Queen. She gave me the thermal tracker and then the hot heels as well. So the Pride and Joy, my all-time favorite of everything, my Ghost Baker, and I got this from trading Glaceon, I think, back in the day. And this was my dream hat. It still is. I have it with the Cool Cat cardigan and then the SoCal chin kickers, which is kind of a joke because, 2 Fort chin kickers, SoCal, where everybody wears flip-flops, including myself. And Meep Moop, I will show you my flip-flop sunburn one of these days. Blue Mew scattergun with the hot effect. And this is actually not mine. I know YouTubers don't usually say like, oh, somebody let me borrow it. But my friend Chairface, he hasn't been playing TF2. He let me borrow this, and this is actually up for trade. If anybody wants to buy this off Chairface, you can let me know in the comments below. I'll get you 2 in touch, but he's been looking to sell it. So I've just been using it because why not? It would just be sitting in his backpack anyway. And then finally for the Scout, I have the Unusual Thirst Blood, which once again, it's not mine. See, YouTubers, everybody thinks we have tons of unusuals. I have like 5 hats, 6 hats in my backpack right now that aren't even mine. This is the Thirst Blood with the green energy. This is from Dazdan also. Have it with the flak jacket, the Brooklyn booties, and then I've just started using this because I'm working on a video for a particular weapon that'll be out probably when I get back in a week or so. And then the Winger, the Backscatter. This is my Scout loadout as of right now. This is the one you will usually see. And then I'm kind of in love with this hat. I'm very, very sad that it doesn't work in-game. So that's the Scout. Soldier, this is the first unusual that I've ever had. And actually, that's not true. I unboxed a Nuts and Bolts Brain Slug, and I traded that along with, I think, like one bud, because this used to be worth more back in the day, for this Chieftain's Challenge. I decided on this hat because when I first started TF2, I played a lot of Soldier. But Scott, you can't even rocket jump. Why'd you play Soldier? Because it just started out, and Soldier, arguably, along with Pyro, are the two easiest classes to get kills with. So I played him a lot, and Chieftain's Challenge, I still don't understand why this isn't themed. It is smoking, headdress, smoke signals, but I digress. Anyway, I have that with the Soul Survivor, the Genuine Brimstone, and I rarely ever touch this class. The Base Jumper, I don't really use that. This is another one I don't really use, the Caribbean Conqueror, the Buccaneer, and then this Soldier Stash is my friend, it's Dakota's, and he just let me use it because, once again, people are, they're not playing TF2. They're going to other games, they're just not playing games in general. So they're like, hey bro, I don't want to sell this yet, do you just want to hold on to it and use it? I'm like, yeah, sure. I actually don't think I've ever used that in-game. This is the classic Samurai Soldier, the Killer's Kabuto, and this is one of my favorite hats. This was one of the older hats that I had, and I really enjoy it, along with the Mempo and the Shoulder Guard, the Black Box, and I have like 2,000 kills on there. I rarely, if ever, use that. And this is the Soldier loadout that I use the majority of the time. An unusual soft cap, kilowatt, and this hat means so much to me because when my son Alex was born, I was at the hospital awake for like 24 hours, and he was born right around Christmas. And I came home to shower and everything, and the TF2 update was out. I was allowed to be home for like 5 hours. I had to go back to the hospital after 5 hours. So I jumped on TF2 after showering, eating, stuff like that, and I opened up like 10 crates or something. The video is somewhere on this channel, and I unboxed this hat. So out of all my hats, the Scout, Baker, Ghost, everything, this is the hat that means the most to me because I got this hat when my little homie was born. Virtual Viewfinder, it is one of my favorite miscellaneous, the Cuban Bristle Crisis, and then just a epic specialized rocket launcher. There's like 5,000 kills on there because I don't really play Soldier. Everybody knows I just play Scout now. I'll mess around here and there, but for the most part I just play Scout when I play TF2. This is the Pyro loadout that I use the most, Muerte Fiesta, and this one is actually my friend Sergio, my real life friend. He bought the hat. He doesn't play TF2 ever, and he likes the hat. He doesn't want to sell it or anything. So once again, I am just holding on to it. El Muchacho, the Coffin Kit, the Degreaser, everybody's favorite, the Reserve Shooter, and then the Power Jack. This is a Hotties hoodie. I got this via trade a long time ago, or it may even have been donated from Glaceon, but I'm pretty sure I traded for that. Along with the Phobos filter, the Space Diver, and then a lot of people hate the Back Scratcher. I actually like this because it gives a 25 damage bonus, and you don't get health from healers. But if you think about it, you don't really get health from healers in pubs as a Pyro unless they're Ubering you while you're doing your flog oomph. So I don't even need a healer when I have this out. I still get an extra 25 damage. Same hat, along with the Wartime Warmth. I can't speak. My mouth's dry because I'm not used to talking so much. Merc's Muffler, and then it's like the whole festive set. I can't even remember the last time I used this. And then finally, my favorite Pyro hat, the Vintage Merryweather. And this is actually a vintage Merryweather. It's level 69. And before, when Backpack TF used to actually grade like levels and stuff, this hat used to be worth a lot of money. I don't even know what anything is worth anymore. But I have that with the Fearmonger only because it's extremely ugly. Like, it clips everywhere. It looks like shit, but I like it. And then Tricksters Turnout gear. I actually got this from Strife, you know, the YouTuber, Twitch streamer. In one of his streams, I randomly won this jacket. And so he sent it to me. I didn't even know I won because I think it was like watching the stream on silent just so that Strife would get another view or something. And then I ended up winning it. So that kind of worked out. Demo. This is the normal loadout that I have. I used to use the loose cannon a lot. Only 563 kills, 484 double donks. Tide Turner, and the Persian Persuader. Now, we used to always use this Persian Persuader. I can't remember what it used to do. I think it would like fill up your ammo or something. when you ran over it or anytime you got a kill. I can't remember because they changed it so long ago, and I rarely, if ever, play demo. Buccaneers Bicorn, Man of the Seven Seas, and then Whiff of Old Brimstone. This is the holiday demo, and I kind of have a holiday class for everything. Usually I would switch it up and I'd do like Halloween classes, holiday classes, stuff like that. But I just kind of keep it like that. I don't really use this. If I ever play demo, it's either loose cannon or this guy right here, just the regular sticky bomb launcher, regular grenade launcher, and then the pain train. And when I play demo like a total noob where I just like spam shit. And then this is the regulator, the Dangeresque, and the Bird of Aberdeen, or the Bong Marley. I call it the Bong Marley. I don't know if anybody else names their shit, but that's what mine's called. And then finally, I have the Samurai, the Bushido, and the Shin Shredders, along with the base jumper and the sticky jumper. And apparently they changed this up. I didn't even know they changed the sticky jumper up or the rocket jumper. I didn't even know. I was super late to the party on that one. Heavy. We'll start here. This is like, I've probably had this loadout like this forever. The Bare Necessities, the Bristle Crisis, and the Samson Skewer, along with the vintage set, which when I first got these were like super hard to get a hold of. I can't remember if it was just the Warrior Spirit, but the Sandwich and the Brass Beast, I guess there was a time when the stuff turned to vintage. There were new items that were out, so people that had them crafted, it turned vintage, and then it like switched over so quick that only like a small number turned vintage or something. I know that there's a lot of those that are worth a lot of money, or they were. I don't know. I don't trade anymore, so I'm super out of the loop when it comes to that shit. Second, the Outdoorsman, the Apparatchiks apparel, and then the Gone Commando with Flutter Age, which I ended up getting from a trade a long time ago. And people actually translated that for me in the last video. It says something like, there's animals standing by the door getting killed or something. Strange Fist and the Festive Shotgun. And then my baby. This is my baby. Everybody asks why I have like a stripper heavy loadout. And I made this loadout as like a gag. Because in one of my older videos, it's a chat roulette video. It was like part SFM, part like in-game shit. And it was a gag where Heavy was twerking on a door and the door opened and he caught on fire. Kind of a parody of that video that was going around like a year ago with the girl twerking and she fell onto the table, broke it, and caught on fire. So I made that loadout for that, and then I just kind of stuck with it. I think it works. The Jungle Booty, the Heavy Lifter, and then the Posh Law. And then what I like to do is manrobics with it. So if you taunt while you look like a stripper, you see a engineer sitting in his Rancho Relaxo, you just start dancing in front of him, Spy starts throwing money. Next thing you know, you're doing lines off tables and you're going on a week-long bender, and it's all because there's a stripper Heavy. And then finally, I gotta go back here. The Soviet Gentleman, the Heavy Hunter, and the Gone Commando. I don't ever really use anything but this one. Engineer, you guys know how I feel about Engineer. So everything is just kind of thrown together to show, like, because I think it looks cool. So I kind of feel like this is what UEA Kid Crash looks like in real life, because I know he has a mohawk. Cute suit, Trencher's tunic, and the Merc's mohawk. This is the Law 3 chin and the fancy cop call, the Fat Police. What is it? The Fun Police, because they stop anybody from having fun because Engineer is evil. All right, so these two are its Dakotas also. The Western Wear, the Mining Light, and then I use the Grizzled Growth, and I'm holding his stuff for him, and I don't think I've ever actually used this in-game. And then this is the one I usually use the most, the Conager's Comb Over, the 3-level chin, and the Holstered Heater. And I still think this is the best cosmetic for Engineer in the entire game. He just looks like he should be in the Beastie Boys Sabotage video or something. Medic. This is pretty much the only loadout I use. I like to call it the Dinobot Swoop. And I think this was in the last 2 videos. This is pretty much the only loadout I use for medic when I do play medic. The Robo Piccolob, the Blighted Beak, but I think it was called like the Bited Beak? I can't remember. And then the Processing Mask, but the Robo version. Along with Festives that I just unboxed from crates when I used to unbox a shit ton. The Procedure Mask, the Surge and Stall Helm. I used to really like those before I started using the Dinobot Swoop loadout. This also, it's a classic. Everybody, if you go in any server, you're going to see this at least once. And then a Brown Bomber. This was donated to me a long time ago. This was actually my first donation from Glaceon back in the day. And I know I've showed a lot of hats that aren't mine, but I've only been donated maybe 2 unusuals, 3 tops. And the rest of the stuff I'm just holding for people. I haven't gotten a lot of donations. I'm not a huge fan on donations, and you know, it's just kind of weird to me still that people want to give me their stuff. So I'm kind of weird about it. All right, so I just threw this together because I think it looks cool. It is a Menacing Upper Hand, and this was actually a Christmas present, I believe, from Dazdan. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was from Dazdan. And then Carbine Cleaner, Kukri, the Prehistoric Pullover, which I think is a great cosmetic, the Hazmat Head Case, which I think it's really cool they made that so that Sniper could use it also, and then the Chronomancer. This is still the Call of Duty Ghosts. Call of Duty Ghost loadout, Villain's Veil, Executioner, and the Deuce specs, along with the Rage Inducing, pretty much Inducing, because if you use this, you're kind of a douche, but the Rage Inducing Machina, and apparently that it's from a crate 30, it's supposed to be really good, was valuable at one point, I don't know if it still is, but I unboxed that a really long time ago, I think, or I traded for it, I can't remember, so I just kind of keep it. I use this often, the Huntsman with the Girardi and the Bushwhacker. If you guys have watched the videos, you know that I am a huge Bushwhacker fan, and that's where you run around with the Bushwhacker and the Girardi, and you just melee the shit out of people once you peed on them. I have the Genuine Brimstone, the Bushman Bristles, and then the Golden Garment. It looks like a weird Devil Sergeant Pepper, so I just think it looks cool. And then if I do play Sniper, this is the loadout that I use. Professional Panama, it's not mine. It is Dazdan's, and I'm holding it. So Dazdan and Coda gave me a bunch of shit to hold. Bushman Bristles, it's one of my favorite cosmetics or miscellaneous for the Sniper. And then the Outback Intellectual as well. It was one of my favorites when it first came out. Like, I thought that was the be-all, end-all of cosmetics for the Sniper. And then I have a server clearing sniper rifle. I added my headshot kills on, like, after I used the regular sniper rifle for probably like 3-4 months. So it kind of sucks. I wish I would have just cleaned it and then started them both at the same time. And then my point and click adventure, I'm not that edgy. I actually, when I traded for this sniper rifle, it was already on there. I rarely, if ever, paint stuff or rename stuff. I just like vanilla for whatever reason. I've always been like that. And then finally the Spy, the Deep Cover Operator, the Lurker's Leathers, and the Rogue's Brogues. I just think that looks cool. The Pew Pew Gun, once again, I didn't name it. The Kanai, and then the Cloak and Dagger. I never use this. I don't even know if this is a good loadout. Like, somebody told me the Kanai and the Letranger, whatever it was called, go well together. So I put that there. I don't think I've ever used it. And then the Ebenezer, the Puffy Provocateur, and the No Mercy, along with the Cloak and Dagger, the Spycicle, and the the Festive Ambassador. This is my holiday spy class. If I ever switch up, and I used to play other classes a lot more than I do now. Now, when I play TF2, I feel like I'm in such a time constraint that I usually just play Scout, because contrary to popular belief, that's who I'm good at. And it's more fun if I'm actually doing well in game than if I'm just running around like doing stupid shit. This is the one that I usually use for Spy. I think this looks super cool. And it's the Moral Fiber Mask from Dishonored, No Mercy, and then the Rogue's Robe, along with the Ambassador, the Knife, and the Cloak and Dagger. I don't know if they ever made a Strange Cloak and Dagger. I don't know how they would even like count the stuff on there, like how many minutes you're cloaked or something. And then I got a sapper. And then finally the Dashin Hashashin, I always mess that up, from Assassin's Creed, Spy Crab from the actual Spy Crab toy, and the Made Man. And then I got this from somebody, and I can't remember who I got it from, and I'm sorry, but it was like a year ago, and I used it. You said I never used it, and I've actually used it 140 times at least to feign. Okay, so I said I would, and I did. Dead? Not on my clock. That's actually pretty witty. The Sharp Dresser, which is just a regular knife, but it looks cool, and then just a regular Ambassador that has 112 kills on it. So you can see I don't really play the Spy too much. Now, on top of going through my loadouts, just for posterity, I'm going to go through my backpack really quick and just go through some stuff and point out the stuff that I like. I still have my Haunted Medal. It was from an alt account because you can get, I don't know if you still can, but you can get the Haunted Medal from the Halloween events and then trade it to your account or gift wrap it so that you can have the medal and also have whatever item you created, the hat, the head taker, whatever. Now, it's kind of stupid in reality, but when I first did that, probably like 3-4 years ago, I thought it was super cool. I still have a bread box from the update. I actually bought this before they went up high in value on the market. I have a bunch of crates. I just kind of hold on to my crates. I have some professional kill streak kits, fabricators that I've never used and I probably never will use. A bunch of crates. I do have crate 30, 40, 50, and then 60. And I kind of miss the salvage crates, but they pretty much have made everything strange now. So I guess it doesn't even matter. What is that? The Spycicle kit? I still have all of my I have my Maniversary packages. I have all of this stuff. I told you I'm a hoarder, and my backpack, it fills up all the time, but I just sit on the stuff. This is the companion square box that I got from buying the Portal figure from Comic-Con. This is the Portal soundtrack. And then this is the sandwich box, which I also got from the Comic-Con toy that you could buy of the sandwich. Some more stuff, all the badges. I have a bunch of Strangifiers that are just like sitting here. I probably should sell these. Like I think the Bonk Boy goes for a bit, the Deep Cover. And then I think I actually have a Megalomaniac on the market right now. A bunch of Taunts. All the Scout ones. Manaerobics is my favorite taunt. Still have these from when they gave us to us like Christmases ago. they sit there because I hardly ever play MVM. I have all the zombies, which is kind of cool. I really need to craft because I have just insane amounts of stuff sitting here. And you can see it's just a bunch of shit. I'm actually probably going to craft all this into metal when we're done. And I still remember when they switched the stuff to add in the stupid skins and gunmetal, when they put the purple. And the first hat that I unboxed, I saw purple and I thought it was an unusual and I got really excited. And then I realized that it was just a normal hat. So my vintage Lugar Morph, which was my shit. I used it on a regular basis before Daz let me borrow this, or Queen gave me that. And now I just use those. 60 kills, and then I think that one, it's not even strange. And then my scatterguns, I have the, I don't remember what this is called, the current event. I love this scattergun. It looks awesome. And I wish I would have had it in a strange version. This is the Hail Zone. And then this, I'm only at server clearing. I like to get it up to Hail Zone. And then I think ultimately I'm just going to try to get every scattergun I have to Hail Zone. And I eventually want to get a festive strange scattergun because I think that the festive scattergun looks awesome. And I was kind of sad that they did the whole festivizers. I can't talk because it's really late, guys. The festivizers where you could turn anything into a festive, but only stuff with skins. I don't think the festive lights with some of the skins look that great. I actually like the old ones that just show the regular gun with the skin on it, or the festive lights on it. Just a bunch more crap. An old one of these. Wait, I can't, I'm not going to do that then. The Musalt collection. Some SMGs. Look at all those dead ringers. That's insane that I even have those. All the scout stuff. I have like a whole gold ninja set, but I haven't used it in a really long time. It's funny because I'm going through this so you guys can see, but I'm actually like remembering stuff that I haven't looked at in years. It sucks because I have the jaunty pin from last year. I wasn't able to even watch Tip of the Hats or anything this year. Completely forgot to donate because I was gone and then my computer was broken and all that stuff. So I'm going to be missing out on the pin from this year. And I usually always try to do the donation pins and stuff. A whole ton of Halloween shit. I didn't realize I have 3 Thirst Bloods. At one point, when I actually didn't hate Engineer, I used to buy, when I first started TF2, I used to buy backpacks from people. And I had, I think, like 3 or 4 vintage Safe and Sounds, all painted different colors. I ended up selling all the rest of them. But when people are like, "Oh, bro, you're a YouTuber. You have a big backpack, and people give you stuff all the time and shit." I spent an exuberant amount of money on Team Fortress when I first started playing because at the time I had a really, really good job, which I no longer have. And I used to, instead of going out to like Disneyland and buying sneakers and stuff like that, I would just spend money on TF2 items because I could. And now I'm kind of poor, so that's why I rarely ever unbox shit anymore. And I don't really buy TF2 stuff. G is back, which is exciting. There's like so much shit in here. I don't even know when or where I got it. I have 4. This is from buying backpacks. I literally have 4 parasites. Nobody needs a fucking 4 parasites. And I think I've actually had more than that at one point. The buds. Remember the buds used to be worth like so much money? I'm so glad that I got out of the trading aspect of TF2. Okay, so I have the Dark Commitment to Purple, Ye Old Baker Boy. I had that with the Argyle Aces, and I can't remember what the cosmetic was, or the miscellaneous chest. One of the preppy looking ones, maybe the Fast Learner. It was my J Gatsby, my Great Gatsby loadout. And then this was one of my first donations too. It is an overclocked Bolted Baker. I have the Terawatt, which I ended up getting from trade from Glaceon. Haunted Ghost, which is my Bay. And then the Vivid Plasma, which if you've been with the channel for a long time, you know that's the unusual effect that I used to wear for probably the first 3 years of the channel. I have a Tossle Cat painted lime green as a meme, which I still plan on doing the Scout vs. Skunt video because a lot of people need to learn that there is a huge difference. I got my vintage long wave from Crits Cast. Big shout out to Aggro. bunch of other stuff. A couple bills. There was one point when I was an idiot and I collected this shit where I was trying to collect all painted variants of Bill's hats. I'm so glad that I learned my lesson. I don't even know when I got that, but apparently I have a strange pocket heavy. And this was all the stuff that I recently unboxed from that unboxing video. The 2 effects within... yeah, like 12. I actually got a hat in a drop yesterday. A freaking Buckets hat. Like when... I don't even know they started putting out hats in drops again. But that's it. That's it, guys. That is my backpack. This is a really long video. So you've actually watched this entire video. You're awesome. I appreciate it. Sorry I just kind of rambled half the time. I don't get why people enjoy looking through other people's backpacks, but I've been asked enough and I am more than happy to oblige. Sorry if I rambled my ass off on half this stuff. I'm just not used to like talking this much, even though I make videos, which is kind of ironic. But that's it for now, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, take it easy. Peace.